Hello everyone, welcome to darkfaetarot. You are joining me on what has been a blustery spring day in Brussels. Welcome to new subscribers, welcome back to those who already know me. So today I thought I would just do a review of the Unfolding Path Tarot. This is a deck that I work with for the whole of the Pisces season. So from about the 19th of February, I think it was, until the 20th of March, something like this. So it's a deck that I work with solid for 4 weeks. This is the Hay House version, mass market. A deck by Athene Noctua, who is the writer of the Guidebook and the artist. So we're going to look at this. This is 78 cards, and it is based upon the RWS system. And from what I understand, the author Athena Noctua is based in the UK. So I'm just going to flip it over so we can just see at the back here. So Athena Noctua is the artist and creator behind several oracle and tarot decks. Her creative process is deeply meditative and forms a key pillar of her spiritual practice. Placing herself at the service of spirit, she works to create divination tools that open a channel of communication between us and the divine. Living deep in the English countryside on a renovated canal barge, her art is inspired by the energies and cycles of life in the natural environment around her. How beautiful. So obviously the author is deeply immersed in living in the country, surrounded by nature, and it's interesting to see how this deck unfolded in terms of its creation. I picked this up because I was just very curious, to be quite honest with you. I've heard a lot about this deck. As you can see, these are the gorgeous backs. I mean, watercolor is really the key strength of this deck. And I had heard a lot about this deck, and this is the inside. Doesn't that remind you of Angelina Jolie? Yeah, it does for me. This is the star card, of course. This is Angelina Jolie in, by the way, Gone in 60 Seconds. That's what I'm thinking about. So anyway, this deck, I was quite curious to work with it. And I'll tell you why, because let me put the guidebook out the way for a second. Because I had seen it in a lot of places, and honestly, I saw that it had been compared to quite often with the Lightseers Tarot, which actually I happen to have a pocket version right here. But anyway, I heard, like people saying, should I get it because it's so similar to the Lightseers and so forth. And honestly, I was just like, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to work with it because I am curious. And I honestly feel it's a very, very different energy. The big thing about this deck that first off the bat, we can see is the beautiful use of watercolor, and the fact that she still has kept this very clean white background. So we feel as if we're taking a page from the artist's sketchbook, watercolor book, however you want to put it. So that was the first thing that struck me. The other thing that struck me about the art in this deck is how it really is a people's deck. Less about people in their depiction for me, more about the people and the message they're conveying. It's the eyes, it's the posture, it's the way that they're sitting, it's the way that they're looking at us, they're looking at the camera or the artist or the reader. So that was really what really struck me. This is a very, very people deck. And she conveys the meaning in each card so well that I was really, really blown away. Like, there was absolutely no thought about whether or not, what is this card, which one is this? So, for example, this is the Five of Pentacles. Sorry, the Five of Wands. It's a pentacle shape, but it's the Five of Wands. But she's done it very, very well. And it's a very, very joyful deck. I don't know if you also see that, but I was really struck by its joy, happiness. The color range that's used in this deck is another thing that I absolutely fell in love with as well. It's the use of the reds in particular. I saw a comment on my Instagram page where somebody said that I'm blown away by the use of the pink and the reds in this deck. And that's something that I noticed, that the author, Athena Noctua, is not scared to use the whole color wheel, let's put it that way. She's using this vibrancy, marrying them, and still leaving this white background in. So really, I honestly have to think that I took a step back and realized that is very difficult to do in art, because in a way, the white background for me opens it up to a lot of perhaps spotting things that don't look right or don't look perfect. And yet she's done it so perfectly. So I think that there was something in this that really made me think that the artist has really put herself out there doing art in this way. The other thing you can see, of course, is I don't have to say it, but I will. Sorry, I can't speak today. The diversity in this deck is absolutely awesome. So if you are looking for an RWS system, but more modern, more inclusive, absolutely this deck will give you that. I like the fact that everyone in here looks like a person I would see on the street kind of thing. Hopefully I don't see him on the street. He looks a bit dodgy. But you know what I mean. Like, these are people, they're of course in costume, but these are people that we would meet in everyday life. And I love that. I love the fact that it's so modern, and yet it has strong themes connecting it back to kind of like a world of its own. The other thing let's talk about is the elements. That was also something that really, really struck me. The fact that she, even though she's like here, we looking at the wands, but we have this beautiful array of kind of like flowers coming out, this vibrant red. So this is the Two of Wands. Here with the Seven of Swords, we have this heavy blue, but if you look, first of all, you see these kind of like spikes in black at the back, and then we see touches of green. I just really love when a artist really challenges herself in that sense. I don't know if it's a challenge, but makes something different. Also, if you see here, it's like she has the same kind of like lines, spikes coming out, but they're white and his are dark. Can you see how clever that is actually? And it's only when we start to put the cards together you get an idea of how well this deck has been done. Here we have sprinklings of white stars, which is also beautiful. And here we have a Four of Wands, again, very inclusive and diverse at the same time. Beautiful array of flowers. So I was really, really happy to see the diversity in this deck, and also how the watercolors again and again. See here we have the sprinkling of green, of stars, but with the green in the background, and here we have the Hierophant, really connecting him to the earth. And I've been doing a lot of research on the Hierophant because this year my rising is Taurus. Normally I'm a Virgo rising, but my birthday had shifted so much last year, my actual solar return. It was approximately 20 hours off from my actual solar return. And that huge shift, was it 20 hours? No, it was something like 18. That huge shift meant that I actually had a completely different rising sign, and it was very, very interesting. Like, I shot across the board. I've gone from Virgo to Taurus. It was interesting. So I'm still within the earth realm, but a very different earth realm. So here we have with the touches of green. Now this makes sense to me when you say the Hierophant. Of course, not just the bull energy, but I'm really looking at the Hierophant as what the place of this archetype is on earth. It's really, really interesting. And if you want me to do a video on that in the future, I could try and put something together. It's something that perhaps is of interest for you. So here we have, I'm talking about the Hierophant, I'm talking about the bull, and of course here we have the King of Pentacles. She's very kindly put here the sign of the Taurus here, which I really love to see again. This always stumps Thoth people, because of course the King and the Prince of Pentacles often the King and the Rider, actually the King and the Knight of Pentacles swap places quite a lot in Thoth, according to who you want to follow, basically. So it's interesting. Anyway, here comes our Strength card. She's left Strength as 8, so falling again the RWS. Again, a beautiful image. I don't like it when somebody has suppressed the tiger, or I don't know. I feel like when that jaw is being prized open, I find that very uncomfortable. Here we find that the lion is tuned into her energy. So she's calm, and she's calmed the lion within, the beast within. It's just beautiful. The lemniscate at the top again. So, I can't stop at every card, but I'd love to, because there's just so much in it. Of course, here we have a male King of Knights, male depicted Knight of Pentacles. Interesting choice there for me. Here we have the Eight of Cups. Love that Eight of Cups. It's very interesting that with such a normally a blue elemental card, we have this green, and that's what I come back to again. I think Noctua, really plays on color. So this is a deck that observing the color is for me just as important as observing the image, and it would Obviously, if you're working with like a juggler deck, this would be perfect because this would really bring out what is going on with these colors here. A very green, bluish Wheel of Fortune. Here we have a Queen of Cups. Love the socks. I love her socks. Love her body. I'm so glad that we're now all being celebrated in our different sizes. That's great. And she's got a blue throne, so that's what makes her the Queen of Cups. Now, interestingly, the cup here is open and it's with a flower. Normally, the cup is closed. The Queen of Cups is one of the closed cups cards, basically. So that's why I found that interesting. Okay. Queen of Wands. This was, I think, one of the first cards I drew when I started working with this deck. One of the earlier ones. I could not forget it. Look at that beautiful kitty there. Of course, it reminds me of me. Beautiful Queen of Wands. And again, I really like the fact that she's young, but she has strength, power coming from that wand. So here we have, again, the Six of Swords. You see, you've got a little puppy in there. Again, one of the earlier cards I drew. I was in India for part of the time when I was with this deck. And it was just, I'm so glad again that, this was the deck that was with me. Kind of like, this was the deck that I was journeying with when I was away. It's just nice to have that fresh energy. If you are someone that's traveling, I personally believe that I need to do that video actually. I think there's a tag around right now about decks that we potentially like to carry with us when traveling. This is one of those decks that definitely ticks that box, and the reason being is, again, it's not just about it not being scary if I opened it in a cafe and somebody saw it. It's not just that. Of course, that is important, but the other thing is that sometimes for me, when I'm traveling, I might be in a space which is difficult. There's things going on. There's challenges. There's energies such as family situations and whatever. And at that moment, I don't really want a deck where I feel like threatened or something. I don't know how to put it. I don't want something so dark that I find myself depressed. I need something that reminds me of the now, reminds me of the presence of life. And this deck does that. Look at that King of Swords. Very well done again. And again, I appreciate the diversity. I can see this is not the typical, sorry to put it this way, but Caucasian man that I would see. This is a different, I personally think this is a different ethnicity, and I love that. Four of Swords. I love that she's rested, she's tucked in. It's nice and warm. I don't know what's going on with her markings here, but obviously there are markings, so I don't know what that's meant to mean. You can see it on her neck, you can see it on her face, like tribal markings. Beautifully done. Here comes our Knight of Swords. I wonder what that's meant to mean, that wink. I've not seen that before. Again, ethnic diversity. And here comes the World card. Again, beautifully done. I'm really loving some of the World cards I've seen in the last few decks I've worked with. Here comes our 10. Really well done. I remember actually, I think this is again one of the earlier cards that I saw, and I remember thinking that's a really good example of overdoing it, not asking for help. I've got to do this all by myself, and just not asking for help, basically. Here comes our 5 of coins. I particularly like how that coin has been cut off there. Again, such a clever use of imagery, and now we have the black spikes coming out. Can you see here, black spikes coming out? Athena Noctua has really, the art in this deck is, for me, what makes this deck so special. Again, the black spikes. So, really look at the color play, the line play, and the expressions. This has got to be one of the best decks in terms of really looking at the finer details of what's happening here. Beautiful array of butterflies, Queen of Swords, one of my favorite cards of all time. Of course, now Justice is one of my favorite cards. That's why. So I always love the Queen of Swords as well. The Devil, again, very well done. He looks a bit... I actually want to laugh a little bit, but he's done very, very well. I've never seen a devil like that. I love the bat wings. I love bats. So there you go. And here, look at that. So we've gone from black spikes again, white ones now, white light shining through. I love that look of look at the intricate details of that cup. I mean, let's not miss that. We have the dove. We have this flower. I think she's trying to depict a lotus flower, but look at the intricate details. An artist does not have to do that. I want to say that. This is really, really meticulous work done again and again. Here comes our 8 of coins. I love that. She's practicing. It's tough. It's painful. I'm sure it's uncomfortable at times. And yet she keeps going. So beautifully done. I love that, the way that's depicted. Here comes our Fool. Beautiful Fool card. I love the fact that it's a young girl this time. And this time it's butterflies accompanying her. That's her, like, accompanying animal. It's a butterfly. Judgment. I've never seen that Judgment card. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Again, white light pouring out. I loved this page of cups, actually. I do remember pulling this. And I love the fact that we don't have a young page. We have an older page. And that's great. That's, again, a lover's card, beautifully depicted. A lot of emotion there. See the apples there, or is that peaches? Peaches? I don't know. Again, beautiful Ace of Pentacles. The Hanged. Again, I like that she's a woman. I love the fact that her leg is kind of like hooked through. This is a choice being done here. The gold coming out of her head, the gold, and the way that the tree is blooming, actually. There's a lot here about, for me, a surrender that's actually a voluntary surrender. That's what I'm seeing. That she's tied herself up, but part of it is that this is her making her magic. Her magic is made through surrender. That's what I'm seeing. Anyway, here comes our King of Coins, looking very happy. I pulled this card, the Six of Coins, and I think, again, this was the first card I pulled. I can't remember. Or maybe this was the card of the deck for me or something. I can't remember, but yeah, I really liked it. I thought this deck is gonna make me ease. This deck wants me to give and take a little bit. Beautiful High Priestess, again, age diversity, and beautifully done with the pomegranate. Again, tribal lines. And here you see white light and then dark spikes coming out of her. So we have both. This is a marriage of dark and light. 7 of Pentacles. Beautiful sunflowers there. Here comes that 8 of Wands. I remember I had this card the day that I flew back. It was really interesting. And actually I met someone on the plane, and they had this kind of bubbly personality. Here comes our Hermit. Again, I love the diversity. I love the lantern there as well. And here white and here dark. It's almost as if part of her is in the cave, part of her is outside. Yeah, here's our family for the 10 of Coins. Again, diversity. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate the love and attention that went into this to make everyone part of this deck. The inclusivity. 4 of Coins. That looks like a pillowcase. Page of Swords. I love this Page of Swords. Last year, Page of Swords was my stopper card, so it's interesting to see her. Here comes our Page of Coins. Now, 7 of Wands. One thing I have to say about this deck before I finish going through all of it is that I did notice how much everything is in action. This is an action deck. This is not an inactive deck. This is an active deck. This deck wants you to feel the joy as things are happening, as her hair is being whipped, as he's laughing and they've collected the honey. This deck is all about movement. Here comes the moon. Even the moon is moving. Again, the whiteness coming through. And of course, a green background. Interesting choice of colors. Here's our 10 of Swords. I found this a very, very tough 10 of Swords because we're seeing her face on or seeing him. I don't know. Them, I should say, actually. Again, diversity again. But the blood and so forth. Very, very dark card. Magician. Interesting Magician card. I found this one a little bit calm as a Magician. Our King of Pentacles. Again, diverse. Queen of Pentacles. I love that Queen. That's an interesting. I love the bunny there. And then we have the fruits and the pears and the apples and the Queen of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards as well, so there you go. Here comes our Three of Cups, very joyful, and our Eight of Swords. Again, you can just see she could have walked around that. And again, the dark lines. Here comes our Chariot, interesting choice, a snow tiger, a white tiger, very Russian, very Slavic. No, Siberian, sorry, I should say. Apologies. Correction, Siberian, I should say. Five of Cups. I remember getting this card. And here comes our Page of Wands. I love that she's in a nightgown. Ideas are coming through. Emperor, very stoic. Here comes Death. Now that's an interesting death card for me. I remember looking at it this way around as well. Again, the tribal markings, and then this way around. And here comes our Seven of Coins. Okay, so I've gone through the whole deck. I wasn't planning to, but I did. Okay, so let's look at the guidebook very quickly, and then I'll show you which deck I paired it with on Instagram. So let's take here the Lovers card. I just cut it, so there we go. Let's look at the Lovers card. And the major and the minors all have the same amount, basically, as you can see. So let's look at the major of the Lovers card. Here we go. It says, love, relationships, choices, duality, union, commitment, desire, aligned values. Two hearts beat a little faster as there is something new and exciting on the horizon. The Lovers card represents a true and loving relationship and a deep connection. This card can speak of both a romantic relationship or a lasting friendship. The most beautiful relationships succeed because both parties make the commitment every day to choose the path of loving with an open heart and resisting harshness and easy irritation. The most beautiful love affair is the one you have with yourself. Nurture self-love with as much care as you do romantic love. So interestingly, Athena Noctua has really, really focused on a more love kind of like interpretation of the Lovers rather than all being about choices, which I really like. That is quite unique in itself. Let's see if I can get a minor in here. Well, that's Death. That's another major. This one. This is that a Three of Wands? Yeah, that's a Three of Wands. I see two wands. I don't know where the third one is. But it is a Three of Wands, for sure. Okay, well, let's look at the Three of Wands and what it says here. Momentum, expansion, progress, exploration. Shift that a bit here. There we go. The journey has started and things are going well. Look out at the wide landscape of possibilities. Are you prepared to stretch yourself and reach out beyond your comfort zone? Your greatest opportunities are outside this current space. You have done well so far, and as you carefully consider plans to take you closer to your dreams, it is clear that even more is possible. Seize this moment to build on previous victories. You are in the flow. Dream big. Anything is possible right now. So yeah, great. I really, really liked the guidebook, actually. Succinct, but very well written. Great if you're new to tarot. Definitely could use this. Okay, so I paired this deck with, this is a very huge box here, L'Oracle de Murmures. It's the Oracle of Whispers, and it's by Marie de Lubilon, and Ash Colored, which that's a different name there, but I think that's her kind of like name given on social media. Okay, so it comes like this. This deck is huge, first of all. It comes in this box like this. So this is the inside. And it's in French, of course. But I just knew that this deck would go so, so beautifully with this tarot, and it did. And this is the guidebook for the deck, which I'll show you in a bit. Just absolutely stunning. Let me just do this for a second. You'll see them. Oh, look at that. Innocence and the sun. And these are the backs, of course, of this oracle. Oh, fluidity and the Ace of Wands. You can just see it's a marriage made in heaven. The Five of Wands, and to take a pause. So we're getting all flustered within. Take a moment. Oh, the Fool and the King of Wands. Interesting. Sadness and the Tower. Don't you think that's a beautiful match? I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you get the idea. This deck works so well. Now, in the Oracle Renaissance and the Emperor, look at that, huh? So rebirth, and we have the Emperor. Now, in this Oracle deck, the actual guidebook is very, very brief, which I loved because, I don't have that much time every morning. And if we look at Renaissance, which is number 50, is it 50? Yeah, it is 50. It's the last card, actually. Oh, no. Wait, I can't find 50. Oh, there it is. You get a very, very small, succinct section. So you get kind of like a formula, kind of like an affirmation. Today I rise, I'm reborn. Then we get for you to think about and consider. And then we have kind of like in equilibrium, so basically in light, in shadow, and then the advice given. So yeah, this is a very, very easy guidebook to follow. If you know some French, at least. If you want to use the Google Translator, you can. But I found this very easy for me to work with. So I just really, really loved pairing them. Okay, so I'm going to end here. I did end up showing the whole deck, but I am going to end here. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I really loved working with this deck. I cannot rave about it enough, actually. If you don't have it already and you're looking for something new to work with this year, especially in the spring and summer because of the vibrancy of these colors. I mean, look at the beautiful colors that we have here. I just could not tell you anymore, just to give it a try and work with it. So thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you all soon. Take care now. Bye.